Welcome to the new lecture of lecture series on network analysis and synthesis. So, today we are going to cover three different theorems: reciprocity, compensation and Talighan's theorem. This is last topic of our unit that we are going to cover today. I am Dheeraj Singh, working as an assistant professor in ABS Engineering College. So, these are the contents that we are going to cover today. First of all, we will go with the reciprocity theorem definition. What is reciprocity theorem? How it will be applied, that we will see here. Then we will do one example on reciprocity theorem, how we can use reciprocity theorem to solve any network. Then we will move on to our next theorem, which is compensation theorem. We will go with its definition, we will go with its proof, and then we will again follow the same manner. We will do some examples on compensation theorem, and at last we will do our next theorem, which is Talighan's theorem. We will define it and we will do how it can be applied to any network. So, first of all we will start now reciprocity theorem. So, reciprocity theorem states that, for example, if we have a network and this network is provided with an excitation V. Suppose this is an excitation which is connected between two terminals A and A dash. It is connected between A and A dash, and the network is providing some response between terminal B and B dash, and it is in the form of current I. So, we have I as a response of the network, and we have voltage V as an excitation for the network. In that case, ratio of excitation to response will be considered as V by I, ratio of excitation to response. Now, reciprocity theorem states that if we will interchange the positions of excitation and response. So, for example, here excitation was connected in, here excitation was connected between A and A dash. Now, we have changed the position of excitation to B and B dash, and the response we were calculating between B and B dash. Now, we are calculating between A and A dash. So, the ratio of response to excitation will be V by I for this network also. So, reciprocity theorem states that for both the network, the ratio of excitation to response will be same. If we will interchange the position of excitation and response, even that the ratio of excitation and response will remain change on changing the position of excitation and response, or swapping the position of excitation and response. This is our reciprocity theorem. So, it can be proved. For example, we have a simple 2 resistor network. This is R1 and this is R2, and we are saying that we are calculating response between A and A dash, and we have an excitation V which is connected, suppose, between B and B dash. So, the ratio of excitation to response, if the current in R2 is I, we are calculating the response as I. So, I will be equal to V by R1 plus R2, or we can write it as V by I equal to R1 plus R2. So, the ratio of response to excitation is, the ratio of excitation to response, this is excitation and this is response. So, the ratio of excitation to response is R1 plus R2. Now, we have interchanged the position. Now, the voltage source is connected between A and A dash, and we are finding the current in between terminals B and B dash. In that case also, if the current is I, so I will be equal to V divided by R 1 plus R 2, or the ratio of excitation to response will be V by I, it will be R 1 plus R 2. So, you can see that in both the cases excitation to response ratio is constant, which is equals to R 1 plus R 2. Although we have interchanged the positions of our excitation and response, in this network we are calculating response between A and A dash. Now, we are calculating response between B and B dash. Excitation was connected between B and B dash. Now, excitation is connected between A and A dash. So, we have interchanged the position of excitation and response, but the ratio will remain constant. That is our reciprocity theorem. So, this is a question on reciprocity theorem, in which we need to verify the reciprocity theorem, and we have to find out the current I 1. So, first we will find out the current I 1 using the same network, then we will interchange the position of excitation and response, and then we will calculate the value of I 1. So, to find out the I 1, first of all we will apply KCL at V 1. At this node we will apply KCL. So, it will be equal to V 1 minus 20 divided by 2 plus V 1 divided by 4 plus V 1 minus V 2 divided by 6 equals to 0. So, this will be the equation that we will obtain while applying KCL at V 1, and this equation will lead to the expression as 11 V 1 minus 2 V 2 equals to 120. Now, the next we will apply KCL at this point. So, we will get V 2 minus V 1 divided by 6. I am taking all the outgoing currents, then plus V 2 by 4 plus V 2 by 8 equals to 0. So, it will lead to our equation minus 4 V 1 plus 13 V 2 equals to 0. So, after solving these two equations, suppose this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So, after solving these equations, we will get the value of V 1 as 11.55 volt and V 2 as 3.55 volt. So, the current I 1 will be equal to V 1 minus V 2 by 6, and we will get the value of I 1 as 1.333 ampere. So, we have obtained the value of I 1 now. Now, this is the case when excitation and response was in original position. Now, we will interchange the positions of excitation and response. Now, we have put 20 volt here where I was calculating response. Now, the position of excitation and response interchanged, and we are calculating response as I 2 where we have excitation earlier. So, again we will apply KCL at this point. So, we will get it as V 1 divided by 2 plus V 1 divided by 4 plus V 1 minus 20 minus V 2 divided by 6 equals to 0. So, it will lead to the equation 11 V 1 minus 2 V 2 equals to 40. Now, we will apply KCL at this point. So, we will get it as V 2 plus 20 minus V 1 divided by 6 plus V 2 divided by 4 plus V 2 divided by 8 equals to 0. So, it will lead to the second equation, this one. Now, again we will solve these two equations, we will get the value of V 1 as this and V 2 as minus 5.33 volt. Now, I 2 will be equal to V 1 by 2. If I 2 will be equal to V 1 by 2, we will get the value of I 1 as 1.333 ampere. So, you can see that I 1 we have calculated here was 1.33 and I 2 is also 1.33. although we have interchanged the position of excitation and response, but still the value of current will be same because our excitation was same. So, this is how we solve problem using reciprocity theorem. Next one is compensation theorem. So, compensation theorem states that if we have a network RL, if we have a network and a load resistance is connected here. Now, due to some reason, suppose this is the network we have, suppose due to some reason RL has changed to RL plus delta RL. So, now instead of I, current I 1 will flow. So, obviously, there will be some difference between I 1 and I. So, if we will find out delta I as I 1 minus I, if we will find out I 1 as delta I as I 1 minus I, and we can find out the change in current by connecting a voltage source V c and in series with R L plus delta R L and R T H, and replacing the other independent energy source by their internal resistance. So, it is short circuited, V naught is short circuited. Now, what will be the value of this compensating voltage? That we will see. Suppose I 1 was V naught upon R T H plus R L plus delta R L. Now, delta I will be equal to I 1 minus I, that where I 1 is the current flowing when our resistance is R L plus delta R L. So, we will calculate V naught by R T H plus R L plus delta R L, and I is R T H plus R L. So, we will get the value as this one. Now, V naught divided by R T H plus R L can be represented by I. So, this value is equal to I. So, we have replaced it with the I minus I into delta R L divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L. So, minus I into delta R L is represented by the compensating voltage source V c. So, this is the value of compensating voltage source we will obtain. Now, we will see how we can prove it. Suppose initially it was I, when there is no change in load resistance. Now, the load resistance has been changed to R L plus delta R L. Now, the current flowing now is I 1. So, delta I will be equal to I 1 minus I 1 will be equal to V naught divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L, and I we have V naught divided by R T H plus R L. When we will simplify it, we will obtain this expression V naught divided by R T H plus R L minus of delta R L divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L. Now, suppose as per compensation theorem definition, suppose we have, now it can be replaced by a single voltage source V c. So, it will be R L plus delta R L, this is R T H, and we are taking it as delta I. So, delta I can be written as minus of V c divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L. V c we have find out, we have calculated as I into delta R L divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L. So, this is our delta I. So, this is our compensating voltage I into delta R L. Now, we can write I as minus of V T H divided by R T H plus R L. This will be the value of I multiplied by delta R L, R T H plus R L plus delta R L. So, this will be the value of delta I or V T H, or it is represented by V naught also. So, it will be V naught. So, it will be equal to V naught divided by R T H plus R L multiplied by minus of delta R L divided by R T H plus R L plus delta R L. So, you can see that both the expressions are same. This one is equal to, both the expressions are same. So, this is compensation theorem. First we are calculating the difference, in this we are directly finding out the difference by using compensation theorem. In the first figure we are calculating it with the help of subtraction of I 1 minus I. In the next we are finding out directly the value of change in current. Now, this is an example on compensation theorem. In it is given that we have to find out the change in current drawn from the source by direct calculation. So, we will verify the compensation theorem. First we will find out by direct calculation what will be the change in current in case if that value which is 4 plus j 6 has now been changed to 6 plus j 8. So, if it is, it will be changed to 6 plus j 8 from 4 plus j 6. We will find out first by direct calculation. Direct calculation से find out करेंगे. Then we will find out change in current by the compensation theorem. So, अगर first we will calculate direct calculation. So, direct calculation के according, suppose this is I, the current I which is flowing when load resistance is 4 plus j 6 ohm. So, it will be equal to 20 at an angle of 0 degree divided by 10 plus 4 plus j 6 divided by 10 plus 4 plus j 6. So, we will get the value as 1.313 at an angle of minus 23.2 degree ampere. So, this is the current which is flowing when the load resistance is 4 plus j 6 ohm. Now, suppose the load resistance has been changed to 6 plus j 8 ohm, 6 plus j 8 ohm. So, now we will have circuit 20 at an angle of 0 degree, we will have 10 ohm. Now, it has been changed to 6 and it has been changed to j 8. Now, the current flowing in this is suppose I dash. So, I dash will be equal to 20 at an angle of 0 degree divided by 10 plus 6 plus j 8. So, we will get the value of I dash as 1.118 at an angle of minus 26.56 degree. So, now we will calculate the value of delta I. Delta I will be equal to I minus I dash. I was the current when there is no change in load value, when there is no change in load impedance, and I dash is current we have obtained when there is a change in load impedance. So, we will subtract both I and I dash and we will get the value as 0.2007 at an angle of minus 4.86 degree. So, this is the difference we have find out, that is by direct calculation I and I dash. Now, we will find out the difference by using compensation theorem. Now, what is compensation theorem? Compensation theorem states that we will connect a VC voltage source, compensating voltage source, and in series we will connect delta Z, then we will have a value of ZL or delta ZL, and this will be the 10 ohm will remain as it is, and the source which is connected will be short circuited, or replaced by their internal resistance. Now, the value of VC will be equal to I into delta Z that we have derived compensating voltage is always I into delta Z. So, I we have calculated as in the last part this one 1.313. So, 2 plus J 2 is our delta Z, because initially it was 4 plus J 6, then it has been changed to 6 plus J 8. So, we will get the value of delta Z as 2 plus J 2 multiplied by I. So, compensating voltage will be 3.714 at an angle of 21.8 degree. Now, compensating network, as per compensating network, what will be the value of delta I? Will be equal to V c by Z, and whole Z will be equal to V c we have calculated as this, and Z will be equal to 10 plus 4 plus J 6 plus 2 plus J 2. So, this is 10 plus Z plus delta Z. So, we will get the value as 0.207 at an angle of minus 4.76 degree. So, it can be seen the difference we have obtained using direct calculation and by using compensation theorem, both are same. So, this verifies our compensation theorem. So, next theorem now we are going to cover is Telegan's theorem. So, Telegan's theorem states that summation of V k I k equals to 0. We all know that power is given as V into I. So, Telegan's theorem states that power delivered by all the sources is equal to the algebraic sum all the powers absorbed by all the elements. तो जितनी पावर डिलीवर कर रहे हैं सोर्स दैट विल बी इक्वल टू जितनी पावर एब्जॉर्ब्ड हो रही है मेरी एलिमेंट्स में, दैट इज टेलीगन्स थ्योरम विच इज मैथमेटिकली रिप्रेजेंटेड एज समेशन ऑफ k इक्वल्स टू 1 to n Vk Ik equals to 0, where Vk and Ik are the voltage across voltage and current through branch of the circuits. Now, suppose this is our question and we have to verify the Telegan's theorem. So, first you can apply KCL, we have to verify. So, first of all we have to find out the voltage across each resistor. So, it will be V1 minus 88 divided by 10 plus V1 by 50 plus V1 minus V2 by 20 equals to 0. So, it will lead to this equation. Then apply KCL here. So, we will get V2 minus V1 divided by 20 plus V2 by 40 and it will be equal to 10, which is incoming current. So, it will lead to equation this. So, we have two equations 1 and 2. We will solve it to get the value of V1 as 113.17 and V2 at 208.78 volt. Now, we will find out power associated with all the resistors. So, power associated with 10 ohm resistor will be equal to I square R. So, I will be equal to, or you can say V square by R. So, it will be equal to V1 minus 88 ka whole square divided by 10, we will get the value as 63.352 watt. Now, power at 50 it will be equal to again V1 square by 50, voltage the same formula, it will be 256.149 watt, power at 20 will be equal to 457 and 40 ohm resistor power dissipated will be V2 square by 40 equals to 1089.727 watt. Now, power delivered by sources. Now, power delivered by sources is given as V into I, power voltage which is equal to the which is provided by the voltage source multiplied by the current which is provided by the source. So, if it is I, so 88 is the voltage provided by this voltage source multiplied by 88 minus V1 divided by 10 which is the current, 88 minus V1 divided by 10. So, we will get it as minus 221.496 watt and that power delivered by this voltage across it is suppose V. So, V will be equal to V2. So, it will be 10 into V2, it will be 2087.78 watt. So, the total power absorbed by resistor was P10 10 ohm plus 50 ohm plus 20 ohm plus 40 ohm. We will add all these power, we will come with 1866.284 watt. Now, power delivered by sources 88 watt plus 10 ampere. So, we will get it as 1866.284 watt. Now, you can see that power delivered by the sources is same as power absorbed by the resistors. So, this is our Telegun's theorem. So, it verifies a Telegun's theorem that power delivered by the source is equal to power absorbed by resistor. So, we will see one more example on Telegun's theorem. So, this is our network. Again we have to verify Telegun's theorem. So, first of all we will find out the current in branches to calculate all the power dissipated in resistors and to find out the power which is delivered by sources. So, if the current in 7.6 is I 7.6, it will be equal to V 1 plus V 2 plus overall resistance. So, overall resistance will be R 1 plus R 2 in parallel with R 3. So, we will get it as 3 ampere. R 1 is 7.6 and R 2 and R 3 is 4 in parallel with 6. We will get the value of I 7.6 as 3 ampere. Now, I 4 is the current flowing in this branch. It will be equal to, we have the value of current here I 7.6. So, we will apply current divider rule. So, it will be I 7.6 multiplied by 6 divided by 6 plus 4. So, we will get it as 1.8 ampere. Now, I 6 current flowing in this is I 6. So, it will be equal to I 7.6 multiplied by 4 divided by 4 plus 6. So, it will be 3 into 4 by 10, it will be equal to 1.2 ampere. So, we have calculated all the currents, current in 7.6 ohm, current in 4 ohm resistor and current in 6 ohm resistor. Now, all the power which is absorbed supplied by the sources is V 1 into I 7.6, which is the power absorbed by the resistor R 1, sorry, which is the power supplied by the 25 volt source 25 multiplied by the current which is I 7.6, it will be equal to 3 plus V 2 into I 7.6, which is the voltage V 2 and the current supplied by it is also equal to 3 ampere. So, it will be 5 into 3, we will get it as 90 watt and the power absorbed by all the elements is I 7.6 square, which is the current flowing in R 1 multiplied by 7.6, I 4 current flowing in 4 ohm resistor ka square into 4 current flowing in 6 ohm resistor square into 6 and we will get it as 90 watt. So, the total power delivered by the sources is equal to total power absorbed by the sources. So, it verifies our Telegun's theorem. So, this is the referred book and so we have studied now compensation, reciprocity and Telegun's theorem. This was the last topic of unit 2 and we will start our next unit from the next lecture. Thank you so much.